Well, let's just say that last week's episode aged like a fine wine, specifically regarding Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders. I'm not going to roll the clip because, well, quite frankly, I've been making empty promises about editing, and trust me, I will get back to editing. It's just, right now it's the end of the school year. Everything's so convoluted. I got a lot to do. So usually I come in here exhausted, but I love whenever I do it. So, anywho, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Titans Rundown. I am your host, Micah McCamey, and in today's episode, we are going to be talking about why the Tennessee Titans, sorry about that noise, why the Tennessee Titans are officially out on Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter. Both, I don't think they're going to end up drafting either of those guys. And now that leaves the question, who are they going to draft? I mean, I think it's pretty obvious at this point. I mean, even every ESPN analyst is saying, yeah, no, it's going to be, well, you know who. But we're going to get to that when we get to that. First off, though, before we even begin this episode, look, I'm just going to be honest with y'all. I don't know what it is, but over the past week, I've just felt this intense, calling to Christianity and just to spread the word of the religion that I love so much. So, right before today's episode starts, I would like to share a Bible verse with you. Ironically, it comes out of the book Micah. Micah 6:8. It's the verse that I was quite frankly named after. No, my middle name is not 6:8. But this verse just means a lot to me. It says, "He has shown you, oh man, what is good and what is not. And what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your Almighty God." Look, I'm not going to just dwell on this for the rest of the episode, but I do want to say that, anybody in the audience that's just looking for something to believe in, something to have hope in, Jesus is one of the best answers. He's helped me through some terrible times in my life, and I hope that he can help you through some. And you may call me corny, you may call me ridiculous, you may think that I'm believing in a fairy tale or tell me Sky Daddy isn't real. Yes, people still use that term. But I'll be quite frank with you, unlike the last time that I preached on here, I don't care. I don't care anymore. I have this love for Jesus like I've never had before, quite frankly. So, now that that's over with, we can move on with today's episode. Starting out with, before we get into all the draft stuff with like the Shedeur Sanders, Abdul Carter, I'll just say it, Cam Wards of the world, we got to talk about probably the biggest news that came out of this week. It's tough between this and Shedeur, but the Titans got their new voice. The new voice of the Tennessee Titans. His name is Taylor Zarzor. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. I'll be honest, it sounds very Australian. I don't know why. I mean, I'm sure that he's probably Australian descent, but I don't know what it is. It's just, again, sounds very Australian. But anywho, this guy, I'm telling you, I wanted this guy, not from day one. Whenever it came down to, the last 2 or 3 candidates, and I saw that it was a Jags guy and this guy, first off, I was like, I don't want to hire anybody from the Jags, okay? I don't want to take anybody from a division rival. That just feels weird and uncomfortable and stupid, quite frankly. But I had heard this guy on, radio calls recently. Apparently, he called for the Panthers at one point. Somebody told me about that. And he called on the Golf Channel. I know that most people don't watch golf, but still. But specifically, probably his biggest role has been calling for SEC Network on the radio. And I'm telling you, this dude had some electric calls. Again, I would show 1 or 2 for you, but I'll be honest, I don't know what it is. I'm just really exhausted. So, I'll probably post it in a small video Friday or something like that. Yeah, but the golly, I lost track. No, he does have some really just strong electric calls. And here's the thing, right? Nobody's going to fill the shoes of Mike Keith. Just everything that he did for the community, everything that he embodied, just how great of a guy he was, and just how much he gave to the Tennessee Titans, okay? It's like whenever, what's the dude's name? Man, I can't remember the dude that Okay, so hold on. Give me 1 second. I need some research on this. I'll come back whenever I'm done. Okay, that took me a minute, but it's like when Adam Lambert was basically like the next big name to come be the lead singer for Queen. He had gigantic shoes to fill, and anybody that's been the lead singer of Queen since Freddie Mercury died has had huge shoes to fill. I don't think there's been anybody else, but I'm just doing that just in case because I don't want a mad Queen fan in the comments section just being like, well, there was also this guy and this guy. But um, again, like it's like those are huge shoes to fill after something like that happens. But I'm just saying, Adam Lambert is a pretty dang good singer, and he is a very just solid um sounding dude. So I'm hoping that that's a similar situation here where like we go from Mike Keith to good old Taylor Zarzor here, and he ends up just absolutely killing it. He may not recapture that same magic that Mike Keith had on the mic, but he still ends up being just an amazing play-by-play guy. And if he even comes like within 10 feet of what Mike Keith was, then I will consider that a huge win for the Tennessee Titans community. And quite frankly, I think that this is the one thing that the entire Titans community has been able to get behind. Every person that was hating on the Titans this entire offseason, and obviously every person that was just loving everything the Titans were doing this offseason, just everybody got together and was just like, okay, they did that right. Which is honestly very amazing. Like, usually it's really hard to get the fan base to agree on something, right? Like, we drafted J.C. Latham last year. There was a little bit of conflict with that about, like, maybe he's too slow. You know, is he going to work at left tackle? He didn't. But still, then there was Devontae Sweat in the second round. We know how that got people. I mean, I was literally talking about, like, hey, the Titans fan base is being ridiculous about this, and they need to get their act together. But, like, dude, I remember those months, man. That was an insane time of year. Even though I do think that it was only like a couple of people in the Titans community that were just a loud minority, even though I feel like the silent majority believed that Devondre Sweat was going to end up being fine. Anywho, and here's the thing. Keep that in mind whenever you hear these people say, oh, yeah, this dude has intense character concerns. They were saying that Devondre Sweat had intense character concerns. And here's the thing. Even though he had like that little controversy about like, is he actually in shape last offseason? He came in, he went to work, he was really good. And apart from like one quote from the offseason, he was no drama, just free of all that stuff the entire year, which that should tell you something. So again, what I'm basically saying is that if James Pierce is available in round 2, you draft him. But we don't need to get into that right now. I'll do a mock draft, I think, next week, hopefully. Or the next mock draft I'm going to do is going to be the week before the draft. The final mock draft, locking in all of my answers. And the episode will come out. I will be live streaming the NFL draft, just so y'all know. But anywho, enough with the self-promotion. Okay, so again, this guy, Taylor Zarzor, absolutely just incredible hire. I give it an A+, and I'm sure that a lot of the Titans fan base is feeling the same way. Okay, and I was about to say even Jared Stillman's feeling that way, but I think he's more worried about being right and somebody else being wrong about the job. So who knows? But like everybody seems happy about this. Even Mike Keith came back and was just like, yeah, they made a good hire. But anywho, we got to get a move on with the rest of this episode. Okay, so the big topic of this episode, the main thing, the reason I had this dude on the thumbnail. I don't know if I'll even talk about this as long as I did Taylor Zarzor, but Shedeur Sanders is not going to be a Tennessee Titan. Maybe something just absolutely bonanza happens in the next couple of days, like the Browns offer just every single one of their pull a Ricky Williams and offer every single one of their draft picks, including next year's first and second, just to trade up and get Cam Ward. And then we go to number 2 and we get Shedeur just because he's the other quarterback. And he also like has been pretty decent. We'll get to that at one point, but like maybe it is something like that's cooking in the background and the Titans are just doing a really good job of hiding it. But to me at least, nah, man. They're not going either. They're not going either Shedeur or Travis Hunter. Yes, this applies to Travis Hunter. Because here's the thing, right? They canceled with both. It's not like they canceled with Shedeur and then decide, hey, we're still going to have that private workout with Travis. No, they were just like, okay, we're going to cancel both private workouts, get it out of the way, and basically announce to the public, hey, Cam Ward is the number one overall pick. This guy is going to get drafted. Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious at this point. Every analyst is saying he's going to go number one. Every fan's saying he's going number one. Giants fans are hanging their head in defeat right now because they couldn't trade up to go get him at number one. And now they'll probably have to end up settling for Shedeur or some really good position player while they tank next year. Anywho, no chance that we end up going with Shedeur. Okay, but here's the thing, right? I've actually come around a lot on Shedeur. Like early on in the process, like halfway through the year, I was desperate for a quarterback, so I was just like, why not give Shedeur a shot? But then, like right at the beginning of the process, I was just like, this dude is not gonna be good. I don't even think he's a first round talent and all this stuff. But looking back, I think I was too harsh on Shedeur. I think that he is going to end up being a decent quarterback if he's given the right situation. Maybe learning under Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston and having, I know that Giants fans give him a lot of flack, but I still believe in Brian Dable. I think that he's a good offensive mind. So learning under all of those guys, I genuinely do believe will help Shedeur's improvement big time. And I think that's a pretty good situation for him to go into. I think that this is the anti-version of the draft where we got Mariota and the Bucks got Jameis Winston, ironically enough, because he's going to be involved with the Giants. But like it was basically neither dude fit the criteria that either coach was looking for. Like Jameis, like obviously he did a lot of chucking down the field, but like he also like needed some simple plays just to get him into a rhythm before he took those huge deep shots. Different thing with different thing with Mariota, where he always wanted to make the hero play. He wanted to go deep down the field. He wanted to push the ball, which was perfect for the type of offenses that Tampa Bay was trying to run. But instead of getting drafted to the Bucks, where he probably would have been a better scheme fit, he went to the Titans, where again, Titans have never been known to have the best offensive minds around. Like there were some stretches where it was just like, oh yeah, we had I was about to say Tim Kelly. I know that the Titans fan base would fry me for that, but like whenever we had Arthur Smith and Matt LaFleur, that was a nice little run of offensive minds. But obviously, after a little bit, we were just like, okay, we don't have any more offensive minds to go after. And Callie, let's just pray that ends up working out. I am really hoping that Levis was dragging down that team a lot more than we were thinking, okay? But anywho, getting away from that point, here's the thing, okay? Overall, again, I've changed my mind on Shedeur. This is nothing against Shedeur, quite frankly. I don't think the Titans are doing anything against Shedeur. Like, I feel like that they're just like, hey, no hard feelings, Shedeur. Like, it's nothing like intensely personal. We think that you're going to be a good quarterback. But Cam Ward has really just blown this team away. You can tell by like the way that they've talked about him, the way that they've interacted with him, the private workouts that they've had with him. Amazing mentality, really good player, but absolutely incredible mentality. He's not, again, I remember seeing Tic Tac say this. He's not like Locked on Titans. He's not like this like insane, like obvious number one overall pick. I mean, I think that there's a universe where he is if he does what he does in the SEC instead of at, well, Miami. But I do genuinely believe that this dude is a really good football player, but combine that with his incredible mentality, his number one overall pick-esque mentality, like generational mentality, if you will. Again, obviously that word gets overused, but like I genuinely mean that. Like he has an amazing mentality. Combine those two together and you've got yourself a franchise quarterback. So like again, it's nothing against Shedeur, right? Like I think he's going to end up being a pretty good quarterback. But taking a look at how Cam Ward has done throughout this process, you'd be a fool not to pick him number one overall, quite frankly. So again, overall, Titans are drafting Shedeur. But instead of this being my victory parade, like, haha, I told you so, it's more so of a, hey, I think he's going to be good for the Giants, but he's just not for us. And just so you know, I don't have quarterback bias in this draft. I don't think Jackson Dart's going to do anything. Tyler Slaw is getting some love, but I don't think he's going to do anything. No other quarterback in this class is going to do anything apart from those first two. Jackson Dart's just Will Levis waiting to happen again. I pray for whatever football team ends up drafting him. Well, unless it's like a team that is actually willing to put him in a really good situation where he just sits back and learns for a year about how to read an NFL defense. But anywho, okay, so nice little bonus section right at the end here to round out the episode. This is about Cam Ward and concerning his number, right? Should Cam Ward be allowed to wear the number 1? This is a tough question, right? Because, like, on one hand, you're thinking, oh, he should be. He's the new Titans quarterback. He's the franchise QB. Let him have whatever number he wants. Not so fast, my friend. Remember, potentially, I know that I'm going to get a lot of flack from Titans fans on this, but probably the greatest quarterback in Tennessee Titans and Houston Oilers history, if we're combining the both. Actually, I'm going to say the greatest quarterback in Titans and Oilers history, Warren Moon, also wore number 1. Absolutely phenomenal quarterback. The question is, though, are we going to let Cam Ward take that number, take away all that history, the retired number? Here's the thing. I believe if Warren Moon comes out and says, yeah, I'm okay with Cam Ward wearing number 1 and passing on the torch. First off, that'll give me more confidence because if Warren Moon sees something in him enough to give him the number 1, then I trust that. But the other thing is, you just got to get the approval from the legend, right? You can't just go willy-nilly with this stuff. So I really hope that he does give up number 1. But here's the thing, right? I feel like it would be symbolic of the fact that I think Cam Ward, everybody's talking about how he's the next Steve McNair, but I'm expecting greater of him. I think he's the next Warren Moon. I think he is going to light it up whenever he gets into the league. I think there will be a rough patch at first, maybe through the first quarter or half of the season, he's just really playing bad. But I think he's going to end off the season really stinking strong, and everybody will see why. Oh yeah, that guy's a first overall pick. That's why the Titans were like, oh yeah, we're going to get him. Oh yeah, hey, actually, you know what? Never mind. I'm going to save that for a short or for the next mock draft that I do. Anywho, but I will say, even though I think that Cam Ward's going to be closer to a Warren Moon than he is a Steve McNair, I do like the nickname that Titans fans have come up with for him. Air McNair. Not Air as in A-I-R McNair. H-E-I-R McNair. I think that that's a phenomenal nickname, quite frankly. And I'll be honest, whenever he's still trying to build up his name in the NFL, I'm going to be using that nickname. Here's the thing, right? If he gets a nickname at some point, I'll start using that. But as it stands right now, Air McNair, H-E-I-R, is one of my favorite nicknames that I think you could come up with. And I'm sure he'll be smiling somewhere about what Cam Ward's about to do for the Tennessee Titans. But anyway, that's the end of today's episode. Emotional roller coaster, right? Jeez. I went from, talking about the word of God to going into how much I think that Shedeur, even though he is a good quarterback, Cam Ward's just better. I talked about Aaron McNair smiling somewhere. It was all over the place today. Then I couldn't pronounce this dude's name, Taylor Zarzor. I'll still get that figured out. But anywho, I have Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok all under the Titans Rundown if you want to go check those out. Twitter and Instagram, I'm still active on the Vols Rundown if you want to go check those out. Again, waiting until this gets a little bit bigger so that way whenever I do advertise something like the Vols Rundown, people are just like, oh yeah, I got to go watch that, get more of this guy. I wouldn't say beautiful face but anyway, that's going to do it all for me. This has been a rundown of your Tennessee Titans. I love y'all, and Titan up.